Hello, my name is Javi Portillo. I'm a member of the Web Learner Research team, and my presentation is entitled Sarea.net Platform and Methodology for Recording, Analysis, and Report of Interactions between Students and Digital Learning Resources in Different Learning Contexts. It is quite a long title, but let's take it easy. It is summertime, so let's say I'm here to talk loosely about some tools, some projects, some objectives and concepts, and maybe all of them or some of them are related to your research activity, and maybe this presentation is interesting for you in some way, and maybe all of this is related to the previous long title. So let's move and find if something of this happens. First of all, a concept, a piece of a puzzle. Maybe we can put all the pieces together in the end of this presentation. The acronym LA, it is not Los Angeles, it is Learning Analytics. And learning analytics, it is an important tendency nowadays. Let's read a quotation. One of the key trends which is expected to significantly impact on higher education in the coming years. This quotation is not from this year. It was said some years ago, and nowadays learning analytics is quite an important knowledge area, quite an important speciality that is becoming huge in the last years. And we are talking about a concrete context. We are talking about online and blended learning. Why is it so important learning analytics when talking about online learning or blended learning? In a classroom, the teacher is gathering information about his students all the time. The teacher is seeing how impact on his students everything he says. The teacher modulates his voice and makes and stop and continues, go faster or slower depending on what he sees in the classroom. So all of us as teachers are gathering data and gathering information and making decisions about how the speech should continue or about the next activity to be done in the classroom. But when we are talking about online learning or blended learning, it is not so easy. We don't have immediate information about how students are doing, and it is not so easy to make decisions just with gut feeling. It should be possible to make some decisions, not just assumptions, by using data collected from that learning context. So a definition of learning analytics could be the measurement, collection, analysis, and reporting of data about the progress of learners and the context in which learning takes place. All of us have heard something about big data. Some big companies gather a lot of data about our activity in the internet, and all those data are analyzed, some metrics are used, some tools are used, so companies can obtain information about how we use internet, which kind of things we search, which kind of activities we do, and in the end, with those collected data, after doing some analytics, the big companies have knowledge about our behavior And when we generally talk about big data, we talk about companies that use those data in order to get money, in order to do business. It is quite a similar process what we want to perform with learning analytics, but the objective it is quite different. We want to use data about the interactions of students in order to get a better learning process, in order to improve our teaching learning activity. I would point out a resource to go deeper into learning analytics, Solar Research. You can see the website on the slide, and it is a network where you can find a lot of information about the learning analytics, different events, different webinars, documents, and it is quite interesting. Let's introduce another concept. The acronym PLA stands for Predictive Learning Analytics. Well, it is quite marvelous promise. Predictive Learning Analytics says it could be possible to alert the teachers to intervention opportunities. I mean, if we can predict by using learning analytics the future behavior of a student, if we can see what things are not working properly in a very early stage, we could alert teacher in order to make an intervention and improve the teaching and learning process for that students. Predictive learning analytics could give students appropriate guidance if the proper data are collected and the appropriate indicators are defined. Predictive learning analytics could give feedback to students and allow them to improve their guidance. And it could be possible to drive a course design using predictive learning analytics. So we could make decisions based on predictive learning analytics. Those concepts, those objectives are very attractive. But what do we need? What do we need to have a crystal ball so we can predict what is going to happen, or if something wrong is going to work with an activity, with a concrete student? It is so interesting. It would be so interesting to get all of these benefits that we should work on it. And a project like Dalty project is working about it. The Dalty project is Dalty it's a word in Irish, which it means students. You can see the website for this project, and they aim to increase digital proficiencies among staff and students in higher education, particularly in relation to the effective use of learning data to promote student success. So the final target is promoting student success. And the way to do it, it is using data from the process, using digital data, not just from the teacher activity, but from the student's activity, in order to give feedback to teachers and students so the learning and teaching process can be improved. It addresses the professional development requirements of teachers. I mean, what a teacher should know, which skills should a teacher have in order to use learning analytics and the effective use of learning data for learning, teaching, and assessment. It is quite an important concept, assessment all along the process. So Dalti, it is quite an interesting project to explore and to find some evidences, some projects, some works, some documents they are generating about this theme. Another project, it is called DESI, Data Enabled Student Success. This project has 4 priorities. Those priorities are the professional development of all those who teach. So they want to add all the ingredients a teacher needs in order to use learning analytics when giving classes, and the professional development of teachers in general should have different issues, different concepts and skills in order to do that properly. Another priority is teaching and learning in a digital world. It is clear that it is not possible to do the same things in a face-to-face interaction and in a remote interaction. But it is clear that nowadays there are so many online resources, online activities that can complete the work we do at the classroom, and it is clear that remote learning, it is a necessity, not just a desirable complement for a traditional learning, but a necessity, as we have seen this year with COVID-19 pandemic. Another priority for the DESI project is teaching and learning enhancement within and across disciplines. They have a clear focus on attending different disciplines and taking into account the point of view of technology, of pedagogical issues, and so on. So it is quite a complex problem, or it is quite a complex issue, that one of giving good remote learning. So different disciplines should be taken into account, and it is very clear for them that they want to get success for students. So DESI, or Data Enabled Student Success, is about taking data from students' taking digital footprints, digital data from students, and consider this like an invaluable resource in order to improve the process. A key for them is the development of an institutional strategy for that enhance student success. It is not something that a teacher by herself could accomplish, and the implication of the whole institution, it is key for people working at the DESI project. Students that are at risk of underperforming can be identified in an earlier stage. So the final objective is getting success for students, and they think that the use of all these techniques can avoid or can minimize the risk of underperforming for students. Let's introduce another concept, the learning design. A definition could be learning design is a formal description of the individuals who participate in a learning process, the resources and environments used to achieve certain learning objectives, and the sequences of learning activities that should take place. And it is difficult to think of all of this if it is not data driven. I mean, the sequence of learning, the path of activities, the resources and environments used in a blended learning or in an online learning, there are a lot of data around the use of these artifacts. And if all the things that we take into account in order to design our course, our activities, one of them, it is quite clear, it should be data from the process. Data from the processes we put in practice should give us feedback about how all of them are working, and should be another input in order to improve the design of our courses, the design of our activities. And another concept is SNA, or social network analysis. It is about investigating social structures through the use of networks in graph theory. There are social structures in learning, and it is very interesting to know something about data, about all the data implied in interactions between different students, or interactions between a student and teachers, and the networks that appear and that regulate the interchange of contents, comments, and so on in a learning teaching process. So if we can gather these data, if we can analyze those data about interactions, we can explain much better how social learning is happening. So social network analysis, it is another concept we should have in mind when collecting data, analyzing data, in order to improve the learning process. And ethics and big data. We have heard talking about big data and how big companies like Google, like Mac, like Microsoft use those data in order to do business, to make money, and sometimes they do not respect some of the rights all of us have about our data. So it should be clear for us that data from people is to be used to improve their learning process, but no more. And an ethical framework for the use of these tools and these procedures should be very clear for us. So let's write back to the initial title and let's see if some pieces fit. The very long title I said at the beginning was SNA.NET Platform and Methodology for Recording, Analysis and Report of Interactions between Students and Digital Learning Resources in Different Learning Contexts. SNA is a Basque word, it means network, and this long description of SNA.NET it is related to some of the concepts I have tried to introduce along this presentation. Learning analytics, we can see on the right side of the slide the 4 concepts that are involved in the development of SNA.NET. Learning analytics, predictive learning analytics, learning design, and social network analysis. We want to develop a platform where it is possible for us adopting some of the concepts about learning analytics, predictive learning analytics, learning design, and social network analysis, and conduct some research about the use of these techniques in order to improve the learning process. We would like to introduce some of the results of projects like DALTI or DESI in the use of our SAREA.net platform, and we want to have a very clear ethical border and an ethical framework. So we use all the data respecting the students and teachers, the participating students and teachers' rights about their identity and their own data. So SAREA.net is going to be a sandbox, a place aimed to play this game, aimed to gather, to collect as much data as we can about how learning is occurring, and we would like to analyze those data so we can get some results in order to improve the design of our courses, in order to research and identify how social learning is happening, and in order to get research results and improve the way we learn and the way students learn using blended learning and online learning. And this pilot, it is based on Google Education, and of course it is a work in progress. We are trying to advance in this pilot, and we are studying all the articles related to this area, and I hope that that's all. I hope something of this has been interesting for you, and maybe you can continue exploring some of the projects and some of the websites I have mentioned in my presentation. Thank you very much.